The developmental theory that we will be looking at today was invented, or I guess you could say thought up by Lev Vygotsky. Who was Lev Vygotsky? Well, he was born in 1896 and he died in 1934. He was a Russian developmental psychologist. Although his theory of the zone of proximal development wasn't popular until 1962, it was actually conceived in the early 1900s. What exactly is the zone of proximal development, or, as we would like to call it, ZPD for short? If you look at the chart below, you can see that the theory is made up of three distinct areas. Area 1 is what can be done on your own. This area represents what is already known by the learner. Now, it may seem strange, but the next area is not Area 2 on the chart. The next area is, in fact, Area 3. Area 3 consists of what we would call the zone of proximal development. This is what can be done through social interactions, guidance, help, and encouragement from a more knowledgeable other, or as abbreviated, an MKO. Area 2 is what cannot be done and what is not known by the learner. In order to get to Area 2, a person must pass through the zone of proximal development. This zone of proximal development is the area of development that is just beyond a learner's current skill level. According to this theory, it's where learning is achieved. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into the areas of the diagram from the previous slide. Area 1 are the skills that learners already possess without any help from a more knowledgeable other. The problem with this area is that boredom occurs in this area, and that stunts development. Activities in Area 1 do not challenge learners. In order for new learning to take place, according to this theory, learners must venture outside of Area 1 and into Area 3 if they want to achieve Area 2. A good example of learning that might take place in Area 1 would be teaching students to tie their shoes in second grade. In the state of Illinois, students were required to know how to tie their shoes to enter kindergarten. For that reason, no second grade teacher would spend class time teaching students how to tie their shoes, because no new learning would be taking place. Characteristics of Area 2 are that it is the developmental level that cannot be achieved by an individual without traveling through the zone of proximal development. Attempting challenges at this stage without the help of a more knowledgeable other will result in frustration and no learning will take place. Although the numbering may seem strange, a learner must pass through Area 3 to achieve Area 2. Upon mastery of a learner's current zone of proximal development, Area 2 will turn into the learner's new Area 1. This is a cycle that repeats throughout a learner's development. A skill that may fall into Area 2 would be sight reading for grade school children. It wouldn't really be reasonable to expect to be able to hand out a piece of music that's written in 4-part harmonies to a group of 6th graders and expect them to be able to sight read and sing the music. This is why it would be necessary for there to be a more knowledgeable other, like a choir director, to help guide them through their parts and play their parts when they can't read them. Without the help of a more knowledgeable other, students would become frustrated and more than likely give up on trying to sing the piece of music. Like we said earlier, in order to even get to Area 2, a learner must pass through Area 3. Area 3 is the actual zone of proximal development. It contains the skills that are just beyond the developmental level of the learner. Skills that are too difficult fall outside of the zone of proximal development and will frustrate learners and inhibit learning. This is the zone where learning happens. Also, a more knowledgeable other is a necessary guide through the zone of proximal development. We must not forget, though, that even with a more knowledgeable other, not all skills fall within the zone of proximal development. Take, for example, the grade school choir that we mentioned on the previous slide. With the help of an MKO, it is reasonable to assume that they would be able to sing a 4-part harmony, but it is not reasonable to assume that they would be able to sing a major work like Bach's Magnificat, even with the help of a more knowledgeable other. There are some real-life concrete examples of the zone of proximal development being used. It's common to see this used in classrooms through group projects in which students are grouped intentionally by skill level. Advanced students become the MKO in relation to other students. ZPD is also evident in the athletic arena. Coaches are MKOs that guide athletes through their ZPDs. Teachers helping students understand concepts can also become MKOs. An example would be a high school English teacher helping to explain Shakespeare to her class. The following is a video demonstration of the zone of proximal development. See if you can look for the following qualities of the zone of proximal development in the video. Look out for a frustrated learner who is attempting a skill beyond his zone of proximal development. There should also be a more knowledgeable other that suggests and guides the learner through a task that is within the learner's ZPD. The result is the learner gaining a new skill that he can practice and demonstrate without further help from the MKO. This video demonstrates a learner moving through all 3 areas of the ZPD.
Give up.
Dude, what's wrong? I just heard somebody sounded upset.
I'm trying to learn this song to impress the girls, but I just can't do it.
Okay, I'm not sure if that's the best motivation for pursuing knowledge or skills, but if you ever want to impress anybody, you're going to have to get in the zone.
What zone?
Okay, let me explain. That song that you were just trying to play, that is way outside of your skill level. So, let's talk about a song that you know that you can play really well right now.
I can play Smoke on the Water like it's nobody's business.
Back that up.
All right.
You just played it like a pro. So, tell me then, what's wrong with just playing that song all the time?
I don't know, it just gets kind of boring.
Exactly. You see, like the first song that you played, it was way too hard. But Smoke on the Water is way too easy. See, a guy named Vygotsky came up with this theory in the 1920s that says that if people do something that's on their level too much, they get bored. And if people want to learn more, they have to take a step into the next level. And that next level, right above your current skill level, is called the zone of proximal development. The catch is
Like you probably know, most people need a coach, a teacher, a manual, some sort of way to get to learn in the zone. I guess that actually kind of makes sense. I mean, I probably would have never came up with that on my own. So what would be in my zone of proximal development that might impress the ladies? Well, back in my day, there was this one band that impressed a lot of people. Who? Tell me. I really want to get in the zone. One word. Creed. Can you take me higher to a place where I'm unseen? So, are you familiar with the Creed song, One Last Breath? Bro, is that a serious question? Is the sky blue? Does a bear poop in the woods? Okay, I get it, man. So here's what we're gonna do. To demonstrate that this song is not at your current skill level and is in fact in your zone of proximal development, I want you to take 10 minutes and see how close you can come to playing that song. Can you do that? All right. Let's hear what you got. Okay. It's not exactly right. I kind of get it, but I can't get it all the way. That's a good try, but I think that what you've just proved is that this song is a perfect example of something that's outside of your current skill level, but also totally reasonable if you have a coach. Let's see what we can do. All right. Teach me.
Okay, man, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to teach you the song. We're going to break it down into really small parts so that you can learn the entire thing, because it is outside of your current skill level, so this should help you get to learn it. And by the time you learn this song, it won't be in your proximal zone of development anymore. So it will become your new knowledge, and then we'll have to move on to the next step. So let's try this out. Here we go. This is the first part, so you want to start with your pointer finger on the 2nd fret on the bottom E string. So that's the first half. So let's work that out. Let's just do the very first part. All right, you try it. Yeah. Now we'll add the first part that I showed you to the second part that I'm going to show you. So that's the second part that we're going to add. Try it. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually getting it. I'll add this third part and then we'll try all 3 parts together. All right, try that. I'll try the third part. Yep, that's how it goes. All right, let's add all those parts together and we'll have the first half done. All right. Okay, so now we're going to start the second half. So I want you to watch what I do, and then we'll just add it to the first half. Okay, so this first part has a hammer on and a pull-off, which you already know what that is because of your current skill level. And then we want to add an open D string, and then we'll put an A chord afterwards, okay? So we want to go. see if you can do that part. Okay. Hold on, I can get it. Yeah. So let's play that all together. And then this part is like a bar chord, a normal bar chord that you would think of like a power chord. But we're gonna move our pinky, our ring finger, and our index finger down one string. So it'll sound a minor. And then we're gonna move it up one fret, but we're gonna move all of our fingers up one string. See? Let's hear you try it. Yeah, I think I'm getting it. Now, let's try to add together the first and second parts to play the entire intro. Okay? Now, if you just practice that over and over again, eventually it won't be in your proximal zone of development, and you'll need to learn something to the next level to be more and more challenged. Dude, you're right. I can't believe how much fun this is to learn. It's not super frustrating, but I'm still being challenged. And without a teacher or somebody that's more knowledgeable than I am, I never would have gotten to get to this point. So thanks.